What happens when a global superstar's fashion choices spark a worldwide debate that has everyone talking? Jennifer Lopez just found herself at the center of a massive controversy that's dividing fans and critics alike, and the reactions are absolutely explosive. The 55-year-old icon recently took the stage at the World Pride Music Festival in Washington, D.C., delivering what many are calling her most daring performance yet. But here's where things get interesting. Her outfit choices have left the internet completely split down the middle, with some praising her boldness, while others are calling her latest looks absolutely disgusting and desperately attention-seeking. Picture this: Lopez strutting across the stage in a series of strategically placed, barely there outfits that created the illusion she was performing nearly nude. We're talking about skin tone leotards with cutouts in places that had audiences doing double takes, sparkly two-pieces that left very little to the imagination, and black catsuits with transparent panels across her chest, midriff, and other intimate areas. The designs came from high-end fashion houses like the Blondes and designer Ray Ortiz, but the question everyone's asking is, did she go too far this time? Now, before we dive deeper into this fashion firestorm, let's talk about the timing. This wasn't just any random performance. This was Lopez's first major live show since her show-stopping appearance at the American Music Awards just a month earlier. The pressure was on, and she clearly decided to make a statement that nobody would forget. But was it the right kind of statement? The fan reactions tell a fascinating story of our current cultural moment. On one side, you have devoted supporters flooding social media with praise, calling her performance phenomenal and declaring she slayed not only the outfits, but every aspect of the show. These fans see Lopez as a fearless artist who refuses to be boxed in by age-related expectations, celebrating her confidence and stage presence. But then there's the other side of this story, and it's where things get really heated. Critics have been absolutely ruthless in their takedowns, with comments ranging from calling her choices pathetic and cringy to suggesting she's having a midlife crisis in front of millions of viewers. The harshest critics aren't just attacking her fashion sense, they're questioning her motives, her relevance, and even her personal life decisions. One particular moment that set the internet ablaze involved Lopez performing George Michael's iconic Freedom 90 while wearing what essentially amounted to a bikini backed by a full gospel choir. The irony wasn't lost on viewers, with one critic writing that George Michael did not die for our sins so that Jennifer Lopez could perform in a thong. The religious imagery mixed with such revealing attire struck many as tone-deaf, especially given the spiritual significance many attach to Michael's music. But here's where this story takes an even more personal turn. Many of the most vicious comments weren't just about her outfit choices, they were direct attacks on her recent divorce. From Ben Affleck, critics used her performance as ammunition to suggest that her ex-husband had a lucky escape and that her behavior screams desperation following their January divorce. This brings us to a crucial question that's been lurking beneath the surface of this entire controversy. Are we witnessing a double standard when it comes to how we judge female performers, especially those over 50? While male artists regularly perform shirtless or in revealing outfits without facing the same level of scrutiny, Lopez's choices have been dissected with surgical precision by critics who seem personally offended by her confidence. The timing of this controversy becomes even more significant when you consider what's happening behind the scenes in Lopez's personal life. Her divorce from Affleck has been playing out in the public eye for months, with their Beverly Hills mansion still sitting on the market with a staggering $60.8 million price tag. Sources close to the situation reveal that Affleck is so eager to completely sever ties with his ex-wife that he's reportedly willing to slash the asking price by $8 million just to make the property sell faster. An insider recently shared that Affleck views their former love nest as the one last thing that is a symbol of their marriage, and that he's willing to take a massive financial hit because his marriage and divorce cost him millions. And what is another couple million? It is a small price to pay. This desperation to cut all remaining ties adds another layer to the public's perception of Lopez's recent performance choices. The question that keeps surfacing is whether Lopez's bold fashion statements are artistic expression or a response to personal turmoil. Critics argue that her increasingly revealing outfits coincide suspiciously with her relationship troubles, suggesting she's using shock value to maintain relevance in an industry that's notoriously unkind to aging female performers. But let's flip the script for a moment. What if Lopez's choices represent something entirely different? What if this is a woman who's refusing to fade quietly into the background, instead choosing to control her own narrative in the most visible way possible? In an industry where women are often told their value decreases with age, Lopez's unapologetic display of confidence could be seen as revolutionary rather than desperate. The broader implications of this controversy extend far beyond one performer's wardrobe choices. We're essentially witnessing a real-time debate about ageism, sexism, and the impossible standards placed on female celebrities. When younger performers like Miley Cyrus or Ariana Grande wear similar outfits, they're praised for being bold and artistic. But when a 55-year-old woman makes the same choices, she's labeled as having a midlife crisis. This double standard becomes even more apparent when you consider that male performers of similar ages regularly appear shirtless or in revealing outfits without facing anywhere near the same level of criticism. The question becomes, why are we so uncomfortable with older women expressing their sexuality and confidence on their own terms? The social media response has been particularly telling, with the most vitriolic comments coming from people who seem personally offended by Lopez's refusal to dress age appropriately. But who exactly gets to define what's appropriate for a 55-year-old woman who spent decades building her career on being a confident, sexy performer? The answer reveals more about our society's hang-ups than it does about Lopez's fashion choices. What makes this controversy even more complex is the intersection with her recent divorce proceedings. The public has been watching the breakdown of her marriage to Affleck play out in real time, from paparazzi photos showing tense interactions to reports about their inability to sell their shared mansion. In this context, some view her revealing outfits as a cry for attention or validation, while others see them as a declaration of independence and self-ownership. The business side of this controversy is equally fascinating. Lopez's team clearly calculated that bold fashion choices would generate buzz and keep her in the headlines, and they were absolutely right. Whether the attention is positive or negative, she's dominating social media conversations and entertainment news cycles. In an industry where visibility equals viability, controversy can be just as valuable as praise. This strategic thinking becomes even more apparent when you consider the venues and timing of her recent performances. The World Pride Music Festival provided the perfect backdrop for making a statement about freedom, self-expression, and refusing to be constrained by others' expectations. The LGBTQ+ community has long celebrated individuals who defy conventional norms, making it an ideal audience for Lopez's boundary-pushing performance. Yet even within that supportive environment, her choices sparked debate. Some community members felt her performance was empowering and aligned with Pride's message of authenticity, while others questioned whether her approach was respectful or exploitative of the platform she'd been given. The fashion industry's response has been notably more supportive than the general public's reaction. High-end designers like the Blondes and Ray Ortiz, who created her controversial outfits, have defended their work as artistic expression that challenges conventional beauty standards. They argue that fashion has always been about pushing boundaries, and that Lopez's willingness to wear their most daring designs shows her commitment to true artistry. But perhaps the most telling aspect of this entire controversy is what it reveals about our collective comfort levels with aging, sexuality, and female autonomy. The most harsh critics seem genuinely disturbed not just by what Lopez wore, but by her apparent comfort and confidence while wearing it. There's an undercurrent of expectation that women of a certain age should become invisible, or at least significantly more modest in their public presentations. This expectation becomes even more problematic when you consider Lopez's career trajectory. She's built her brand on being confident, sexy, and unapologetically herself for over 2 decades. Asking her to suddenly change that approach simply because she's reached middle age essentially asks her to betray everything that made her successful in the first place. The personal attacks on Lopez's character and motivations reveal perhaps the most troubling aspect of this controversy. Critics haven't just criticized her fashion choices, they've made assumptions about her mental state, her motivations, and her worth as a person. This level of personal attack goes far beyond fashion criticism and enters the realm of character assassination. So, what's the real story here? Is Jennifer Lopez a desperate celebrity clinging to relevance through increasingly shocking outfits? Or is she a pioneering artist refusing to let age dictate her creative expression? The answer probably lies somewhere in between. But the conversation itself reveals more about our society's values than it does about Lopez's wardrobe. The controversy surrounding Lopez's recent performance choices forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about how we view aging women in the public eye. Are we ready to accept that confidence and sexuality don't have expiration dates? Or will we continue to police women's bodies and choices based on arbitrary age-related expectations? As this story continues to unfold, with Lopez's divorce proceedings ongoing and her career choices under intense scrutiny, one thing becomes clear: she's not backing down. Whether you view her recent performances as artistic triumph or attention-seeking spectacle, Lopez has succeeded in forcing a conversation about ageism, sexism, and female autonomy that extends far beyond the entertainment industry. The real question isn't whether Lopez's outfits were appropriate or tasteful. It's whether we're ready to evolve beyond the double standards that make this controversy possible in the first place. Until we can celebrate older women's confidence with the same enthusiasm we show for younger performers, stories like this will continue to divide us and reveal the limitations of our collective growth. What do you think? Is Lopez blazing a trail for women refusing to be invisible after 50, or has she crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed? The answer might say more about you than it does about her.